Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video with Halvonis. So, with BlizzCon being wrapped up, a lot of the answers from the QAs have been put up. What I want to do right now is just take a look specifically at the answers of the QA, and you can kind of guess what the questions were. So, in the QA they state, into the answers they state, putting garrisons on mobile apps would be cool, but it isn't planned right now. So someone was asking about the garrisons. There is no way to invite other players to your garrison when offline, but you can invite a whole 40-player raid when you are online, though. Someone asked about if the Dark Iron or the Dark Iron clan will be a part of this expansion. The Dark Iron will make a small appearance in Warlords of Draenor, but nothing else is planned yet. There aren't any major changes planned for the pet battle system, just additions of new pets, trainers, and buildings for your garrisons. Someone was referring to the pet battle system and such. We feel Wrathion played a really important role in Pandaria, but he won't make any more than a short appearance in Warlords of Draenor. They were inquiring as whether Wrathion will have another quest chain. Smart healing has a place, but it might be good to make them less smart. Most heals could just prefer people who are injured rather than at full health, rather than just picking the people at the lowest health. So someone asked about the kind of what's going on there with the smart healing. Basically, this is going to be all about when you do an AoE heal, it's going to just be split evenly through the targets. But if there's someone at 50% health and someone at 75% health, it's going to pick that person at 50% health before the 75% health person. The team wants to make it easier to find like-minded players to play with, which is why we have an advance notice on the raid size change. So basically, they were asking what their solutions to lower pop servers are going to be. Mythic would have taken more resources to maintain the 10 and 25 structure for the top 1% of the players, so the decision to fix the size to 20 was made in order to focus more on raid design and less on balancing two sizes. Someone inquired about why they added the Mythic ability. The Toray stats may be limited to certain slots, like speed only on boots. It'll be rare enough that by the time you can farm them, progression races will be over. They shouldn't have a big impact on progression races. They're asking if these Toray stats will be, if they'll be more important over other things. Will Heroic Warforged gear be available? Heroic Warforged gear will exist, will still exist going forward. Warlords of Draenor will have a legendary questline that is similar to the Cape this time, but also another legendary that is more exclusive. So they were inquiring about other legendary items in the game. Garrisons are unique per player, so there will be some kind of way to make it faster for alts. So they asked, will your alts be in your garrison from your main character? Did the Titans visit Draenor? The Titans visited Draenor, but aren't around anymore, so we'll only see a little bit more of the Titans in this expansion. So we're not going to be really focusing on the Titans in this expansion, which is pretty good. And so far, we have no Old God corruption, so this may be an Old God-free expansion. Having best in slot item currently feels like a checklist right now. In Warlords of Draenor, when you will get your loot, but you will also have a cooler version of the loot to go after when things are on farm. So someone asked about, how when they said cloaks and weapons and all that things will have more role-based, things going on with them. Basically, you could have a sword that drops, and let's say it has crit on it. But if you're a Death Knight tank, you could get that same sword again from the same boss and same drop, and it will say increased armor. At that point, that becomes better for you than the crit. So, you're going to change over to that weapon if you win it. basically what they're saying here is the more random loot system is going to come into effect. The stuff that you get from the boss may not be best in slot. Maybe you have to go get something more to earn. So maybe you may have to get this item 5 times before you even get the one that you want, which makes the progression and rating so much better. Racial balance will be tuned again in Warlords of Draenor, trying to narrow the gap. Goblin and Worgen have better balanced racials than many other races right now. We intend to fix this. That was someone asking about what the races, if there's going to be another balance in the races again, and there will be. 20 players will likely have 5 healers in mythic difficulty. Keeping mythic to a fixed size will allow for many more possibilities in making mechanics, so that we don't have to scale for another raid size. So someone asked why the decision for 20 players was added. Adding dynamic content to the old world would be nice, but isn't good use of time right now. Someone asked if the dynamic content, such as, rock falls and all the things that will happen in Warlords of Draenor, will be added to the old world. And they said not right now, but it may be a possibility in the future. Bonus rolls will continue in Warlords of Draenor. LFR bonus rolls doesn't impact your heroic bonus rolls. You can't roll 15 times and win nothing anymore. So someone was inquiring about the rolling system. The team has talked about and put some effort into pet battles on mobile devices, but it hasn't worked out well yet. But they do keep looking at it, doing it. So someone asked if the pet battles will be moved to a mobile system, and they said maybe in the future, but not at the moment. It's not able to do it yet. Someone asked if there will be old servers for old expansions. No servers for old expansions. You may think that you want these, but you probably really don't. You remember everything that was good, but not the hassle that came with these expansions. So no old servers for expansions. There isn't any official lore on the celestial dragons. They just look cool. So people are asking if there's any lore supporting celestial dragons. The Yak Reforged armor will be replaced with something else. The vendor will be replaced with something else. So they're probably going to add like a, probably another merchant or something onto it. They were asking about, with Reforging gone, what's going to happen to your Yak. Secondary and Toray stats will stay the same, but primary stats on armor will change for your spec. This system is still in development, so details will change before it is live. Someone was asking if your movement speed buff on an armor will change to, let's say, a cleave set when you go onto your tank or something. As far as we know now, this will not change, and the stat that you have for Toray on your gear will be the one that you use. Wait, let's see here. People are working on the side project to update the old Warcraft games to run on modern versions of Windows. Someone asked if with all this new, or with all the orcs and humans, nostalgia trips that we're having, maybe if that we're going to be able to have the versions of Warcraft 3 and Warcraft on the new Windows. And they stated that that is very possible. When the dark portal turns red and cuts you off from regular Outlands, you might be able to go through the Taverns of Time. Someone was asking whether or not, the portal to Outlands will still lead to Outlands for low-level players. And they said no, but you'll probably be sent to the Taverns of Time. But they're not sure on it yet. Mythic Raid Lockout is boss-based. Static ID. Nothing is changing from the current heroic lockout system. They are asking if there's going to be a new lockout system. And someone was asking, will we ever see Eyes of the Beast for Hunters again? Eyes of the Beast was removed when trying to prune things from classes, and the code for it got removed as well. Removing it was a mistake, but it would take some time to get added support for it again. So someone asked about the Eyes of the Beast. Horde will have a chance to go back and redefine itself and come away from the ends of Mists of Pandaria even stronger. Someone asked if this is an alliance-centric expansion, will the Horde be seeing any glory in it? And they said yes, they will. World PvP outside of the World PvP zone isn't going to be a huge focus, especially with how one-sided most PvP realms are. Someone asked if there was going to be a focus on World PvP outside of the World PvP zone. New hairstyles are coming with some of the new character models. They were asking if they would have any new if there would be any new hair. Transmog that doesn't require you to keep the item forever is on the list, but is not ready for the Warlords of Draenor launch. Someone was asking if they were going to use the Diablo 3 system of transmog, where you keep the item look, but you don't have to have the item anymore. You just constantly have the look saved into a profile. The team is talking about scaling up difficulty for launch dungeons. So each new tier of dungeons during the expansion, so you don't have to run the 2 new ones over and over again and get burnt out. So someone asked how the difficulty was going to be. There are no plans for Alleria and Tyrellian. There are plans for Alleria and Tyrellian, but not in Warlords of Draenor. So someone asked if we will see Alleria and Tyrellian in this expansion. So basically what we have are a whole bunch of questions that people asked, and we got the answers for them. Now, some of the answers were kind of half-assed, some of the answers were we don't know, but a lot of the questions were worded strangely too. A lot of the people, when they asked these questions, were rude. I have watched this part, and a lot of them were quite rude. So it would be no wonder if the developers were snarky back to them. But, I mean, that's not professional. Some of them didn't do that, but maybe there was a few who answered the question and were snarky in the process. Anyway, guys, long video. Hope you enjoy it. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Catch you later.